So in the 15th century, tensions began to rise between the Hanseatic League's merchants and a major center of international trade at the time, which was the city of Bruges in modern-day Belgium. In 1477, the League decided to impose a full-scale boycott of Bruges over trade regulations and taxes, and so all the members basically agreed to stop trading with the city and not even enter its walls. The boycott lasted for several years and had a huge impact on Bruges' economy because the League was one of the largest trading partners at the time, and it controlled enormous economic clout. The city eventually capitulated to the League's demands and offered a number of concessions, including lower taxes. Basically, the Hanseatic League was willing to put economic pressure when it felt like its merchants weren't being treated fairly. Now, fast forward to today, and the headline is that we see Walmart is pulling out of Portland because of rampant theft. It's made its business in the Portland, Oregon area unviable because there's so much shoplifting. And you've probably seen these videos of people running into these stores, taking everything they can and just running out, and the employees being powerless to stop them. Progressive prosecutors aren't doing anything about it. The politicians don't care. In fact, these are probably a lot of their voters that are robbing these places. So Walmart says it's unprofitable. Why are we doing this? We're done. We're closing our last 2 stores in the Portland area, and we're pulling out. And this is a sign of civilization collapse. And I'm only half joking. Like, Walmart is a sign of civilization. If you're driving down the road and it's dark and it's a little scary, you don't know where you are, and you see a Walmart, that's civilization. It's open 24/7. You can sleep in the parking lot, walk in there, buy anything you want, food, clothing, it's cheap. It's really a sign of civilization. And sure, there's plenty to criticize Walmart over, whether it comes to influencing the government or going along with some of the woke hysteria or whatever. That's kind of beside the point. The point is it's a huge economic force. It keeps prices low. It gives, from the government's perspective, it sits there and allows them to set up vaccine drives in their parking lot or whatever. So the government's losing this huge partner that it's been using over the past few years to help push its agenda on everybody. And so it's a little ironic. Now they've pushed them too far. They've created the conditions where you can't even do business. And the same thing, they've complained about this for years. The same thing happens in inner cities. They call them grocery store dead zones, and the prices, for some reason in the inner cities, why are the prices on goods and food so expensive? It's because you have to build in the price of getting robbed at gunpoint all the time. Yes, that has costs, and the costs are going to be paid by the people that shop at the store. We've seen the same thing, Walgreens, CVS, you see the rampant theft they're pulling out of cities like San Francisco. Grocery stores were pulling out of California during the pandemic when they were mandating all these high pay structures for these critical employees. And Amazon right now is closing. They had these automatic stores that they were opening up, but they're closing them in high crime places like New York, San Francisco, and Seattle. So these businesses are pulling out of these progressive cities where they just can't make any money because the conditions are not right. They are not being treated fairly. This is particularly, in this case, related to crime, but also all these places have high taxes, high regulations, and businesses are fed up. Why bother? Why bother putting up with that? It's pretty interesting, and it's sad in a way because this shows what the United States is turning into. It used to be this bastion of economic freedom and economic liberty, and you had a well-functioning government, and that's still the case in a lot of places in the United States, but not these places that they're pulling out of. It's interesting, wealth migrates. You don't have to stay in these progressive hellholes. And what's interesting is Henley & Partners is a global wealth migration service. And they say that the United States is on track to lose 125,000 millionaires this year, compared to, for example, 64,000 in 2015. And when you talk about net inflows of foreign millionaires moving to the United States versus U.S. millionaires moving out, net inflows of wealthy people fell to a low of 1,500 in 2022. And that's down from a peak of 10,800 pre-pandemic were moving to the United States each year. Now, I know a lot of people like to cast rich people, millionaires, as if they're part of the problem. That's not true at all. You definitely want millionaires contributing to your economy. The government wants them paying taxes. They create products. They form businesses. It's a healthy sign when millionaires want to move to your economy. What's happening to these progressive places? They're moving out. They're also moving out of the United States in general. as this Henley data shows. And it's funny what Henley noted, the reason why these rich people are moving out of the United States. And often uninformed media like to play that off as an attempt to avoid taxes. To a small degree, maybe, but far more prevalent are investors and entrepreneurs seeking greener pastures for investment and business growth, safer destinations to raise their families, or second passports and alternative residence opportunities that afford everything from entrepreneurial advantages to wealth preservation strategies to better healthcare options. I know that personally. I actually went to Mexico City for a big executive health exam, which cost about a fifth of what it would cost in the United States. Great service, got it all done in half a day, all the high-tech tests and equipment. It was really interesting. Anyway, the point is it's starting to look a little bit like the new dark ages in some of these progressive hellholes, but it's not going to be the new dark ages everywhere. Certain places are going to be much better off in the coming tumultuous years ahead than other places, and it shouldn't really be that much of a mystery which ones are which. So it does matter where you live. It matters what relationships you've developed. And, we're talking about big businesses here like Walmart and everything. What you really need is a relationship with your local farmer. You go talk to the people at the farmers markets. Make sure that you have direct relationships with people that provide some of the necessities that you're going to need if things start going downhill faster than they currently are. And a strong network of people, of like-minded people around you who are productive, who share your values and aren't going to try to take what you have, but rather will work with you to build up and create. And so that's actually the type of resilient, self-sufficient community that I'm trying to build. You can get more details in the description below. Thanks for watching. I'm Joe Jarvis. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that little notification bell, and come back and see me again soon.